Hello everyone, I am Tacet, and today we have something pretty special as far as milestones. We should be able to go and now reach level 100 in every single hero class. We are very close at Diabolus level 94 at this current moment in time, and we are not stopping until every last hero class is maxed, which is just Diabolus at this point. So yeah, we'll easily be able to get that. And then we will be done with leveling every single hero class until they find some kind of way to make it so you need to do even more for hero classes. But that won't be happening next patch. At least not yet. It's definitely something that likely will happen at some point, but not yet. But yeah, still want to get it done just so we don't need to deal with it. And then we can just use whatever hero classes we want that's the most effective for any given team rather than having to use one that we need to level. But we're almost there. And hopefully along the way we'll get at least one more Vault Key. And we'll probably hand out redeem code at our first Vault Key too, because I'm pretty sure we're going long enough that we should be able to find a Vault Key. I sure hope so. So we can get at least up to double-digit keys for the week. But anyways, before I get into all that and start our grind, let's go over all of the new weekly stuff that's coming in next week for all the event stuff. So first things first, we got ourselves a raids. If I'm not mistaken, this is actually our last new raid troop, if I'm not mistaken. So this, of course, is for Merlantis because we have a Merlantis event week next week. So we'll have that kind of restriction towards it. As far as what it does, it ends up doing a damage to an enemy boosted by blue allies and enemies at a 3x boost ratio. For every blue, it's basically going to be 3 additional damage. So if there's 5 in play, it'll do 15 additional damage, and that'll end up getting increased by all the other bonuses. Oh yeah, and also Happy Father's Day, everyone! Hope all of you have had a wonderful Father's Day and a wonderful weekend. Made sure to call mine earlier today. Definitely don't forget to do it. But yeah, but that's been doing good. Pretty much the same old, same old. Other than coronavirus stuff. But he's pretty much retired at this point, so. Let's see. Anyways, where was I? If there are and it does a standard amount of multiplier to a boss, so up to 5 times damage, which means you can get quite a bit of additional damage off of this. So, for example, if you have 5 blues within play, and you're fully ascended, that's 15, and then 15 times 5, what is that? That's 75, right? 75 damage, additional. Not even his base damage, just 75 additional damage by having 5 blues in play, while also having the enemy have at least, or 5 blues in plays while having full ascension, I mean. So that's a lot of additional damage that you'll potentially be able to get, which will be pretty good for the raid event. And obviously they'll be guaranteed at least 1 blue on the enemy team, because Zugoff. So if your entire team is a 4 times blue team, which is likely given the Merlantis restriction, or at least pretty close to 4 times blue, you're pretty much going to be hitting an additional 75 per hit, and it's not even counting all your normal damage that you'd be doing. So a pretty hefty amount of damage that I'll get for the event, and also there's a bit of skill reductions, though it's not used as much in raids. Anyways, as far as the glory troop that we'll be able to get, it is an ultra rare. You'll be able to stock up on yellow-blue arcane trait stones for 300 glory each if you choose to do so. As far as what it does, it creates a mixture of blue and green of 18 gems, and then submerges itself. This is going to be pretty useless, especially since there's no empowered or any kind of thing like that. Just with a water link, it's not going to get much value, so this is going to be dead content upon arrival. It does look adorable, though, so they're keeping up a tradition of giving good troop art to useless troops. But, yeah, it's dead content, so that's not really going to get used. We're getting a new weapon. It's a pretty standard weapon as far as the typings that we've been seeing quite a lot of. But this is the Merlantis version. It deals damage to an enemy, boosted by Merlantis allies, and it creates a mixture of green and blue, based on Merlantis allies. So we've already seen 1.5 billion of these weapons. Obviously, they're doing it for every single typing within the game, and it's just another one of those. As far as Merlantis does have a bit of synergy with it itself, so this one isn't horrifically bad, especially given that green and blue is pretty good for them. Though I don't really foresee this being particularly meta, but it won't be the worst of them, if nothing else. Other than that, other things that we have going on this week is this Tuesday, we're going to be having a faction event for Silver Necropolis. This is very relevant because Silver Necropolis has a life and death weapon. This Tuesday, and only this Tuesday, you will be able to obtain life and death either via Soulforge or via doing the event. And I believe you have to put like 250 gems or so into it, and you'll end up getting a life and death weapon. It is highly advised to get life and death on Tuesday if you don't already have it. It is one of like the top 5 best weapons in the entire game. And if you don't currently have it, you should get it because it will be months before this thing is available again. And it's only available this Tuesday in 2 days from now. So make sure to get it. Very important. You should not leave Tuesday without it, because you won't be able to get it for months upon months until it'll be back again. Anyways, as far as pet rescue, we got Krabby, which is the blue Guild War bonus troop, which gives a little bit, I believe, armor HP when you're using a pure blue team. Nothing too special, but it helps Guild War some. Class this week is obviously Tidecaller because of the Merlantis event week. And then on Friday, we don't have anything, oddly enough. We actually have nothing on this weekend. But this Saturday, we will be getting a pet, if nothing else. This is the shark pet that we got from last year, if I'm not mistaken. The Sharky, yeah. It's the shark pet from Shark Week of last year. I'm pretty sure they're not doing one for this year. Did we even have Shark Week? When is Shark Week? I don't remember. But yeah, they did that for last year's Shark Week, and we're just getting it again. If you didn't end up getting it last year. So for most people, that might be something new, but obviously it's technically not something new since it has already existed in the game as of last year. And that's all we have going on this week. So most of what's coming in is pretty much coming in all on Monday. Well, literally everything. Because Sharky already exists, all the other stuff exists. So yeah, all the content's pretty much just coming in on Monday. And then we kind of have a pretty chill week throughout the rest of the week. And I just had the thingy for the 2 troops. But yeah, there's this 3 times boost ratio. I made sure to check just in case. I always hate when they put a boost ratio on those cards because they never actually say what the boost ratio is. So you have to go into that menu just to check it. Shark Week is in August. Oh, it hasn't happened this year yet. So they might still have one for Shark Week this year yet then. Anyways, so main objective at hand. Obviously, Diabolus level 100. Let's go get it done. It's probably going to take us about 2 hours, but we will not stop until we get it. And we'll have a redeem code once we hit level... I want to say 98 or... Oh, no. We'll hand it out at 99 or first Volkey. We'll do it based on that. 99 or first Volkey, whichever happens first. Which likely actually is first Volkey, but we've been pretty unlucky. Well, I don't know. Not too unlucky. We got 9 keys so far. I'm not sure after how many total hours that's been, because I've been grinding here and there off stream. I've only gotten 1 off stream, though, and I made sure to add it to the count. Yesterday we did. I didn't get any today, mostly because I haven't really farmed much today. But, I'm trying to think of how much I did total so far. I want to say it's been 12 hours so far? 12 hours for 9 keys? I'm not sure if that's accurate. But that sounds about right. Might be a little bit higher than that. And that's not counting what we're about to put in now. So overall, it's not a bad drop rate for Volkeys, though it could be better. Definitely still want to find that 10th, if nothing else. Ideal with a Mechanome, or at least something good in it. Also, I didn't even say hello to everyone yet. Hello, everyone! Hope all of you had a wonderful, wonderful weekend and a wonderful Father's Day. Hello, Bill Warhammer. Hello, Alfie. Hello, Original. Hello, Humberto. Hello, Christophe. Hello, J-Dog. Hello, Matt. Hello, Captain. Hello, Drock Savage. Hello, Birdleaf. Hello, John. Let's see. Oh, got Starkstone to level 15. Nice. Yeah, getting extra magic is very nice whenever it ends up rolling in. You only finished Tower of Doom and been playing PvP for a while, but some reason no gnomes have been appearing. Well, they don't appear in Tower of Doom, but they should be appearing in PvP. Let's see. Hello, Birdleaf. Hello, Isabel. Hello, Liz. Hello, Cookie. Let's see. Who have I not said hello to's? I think that's everyone, actually. And hello, Scouts. Welcome, everyone. Hello, everyone else I didn't say hello to. And all the lurkers hiding in the shadows. I know, let's go kill that out. So what level do you need to be to get Mythic Hero? I am almost guaranteed it's 500. I'm pretty sure it's not 1,000. I always remembered it being 500, not 1,000. And the main reason for that was how the leveling system used to be at 1,000 cap. So they made it specifically at 500. But no, you should get it at 500. I am almost 100% certain that level 500 is the level in which you get a Mythic Border. Unless they changed it in recent times. So how is he not already dead? Let's see. I don't even have a way to kill it out. There we go. Because the levels that they happen at is 10 is rare. Well, obviously anything under 10 is common. 10 is rare. 25 is ultra rare. 50 is epic. 100 is legendary, and 500 is mythic. That's how it's always been. I'm pretty sure I can find a level 500 something with a mythic border in PvP real quick. But I'm almost guaranteed that was 500. What platform are you on? Actually, there'd be an easy way to check too. Check global and see. But yeah, get level 501 and see if it changes. But let me see. Let me find a level 500 something in chat. It's gonna be a little bit hard though. With someone below 1,000 but above 500. Oh, this is my guild. I'm not gonna find anyone at that level range there. Fail. Let's see. We go to global 1. Let's try this again. But yeah, this should be a mythic border. It's 985. It doesn't have a thing on its team. No. There's no one else in global. But I'm almost 100% certain it's 500. We'd always repick spam casual PvP. Let's see, here's a 683. Yep, mythic. Yeah, it's 500. Oh, what mythics will be craftable this week? We won't know till Monday. It's one of the reasons why we always cover our Monday video. It is literally not possible to know until the Monday hits. We know which ones it won't be at any given time. However, we never know specifically of the ones that it will be, which ones it'll be. So we kind of just have to wait till Monday gets here to know what the Soulforge will be. Though event key, we do know what's going to be. Obviously, it's going to be Merlantis. And event key drop table's not that bad. Merlantis has not the best drop table in the game, but it's definitely a somewhat decent one. It has Azura, which we can end up getting Explosion off of. It has a couple different good blue synergy troops. Overall, it's probably a week worth skipping. But there's a lot of utility troops that you might want to consider picking up. I do believe we have a better week coming up soon, though. But there's a lot of good blue synergy stuff. So a lot of that you can already get. Azura you can get for free from completing out Merlantis. And most of the things that would actually be really good, like the mythics from there, are obviously really hard to obtain. We finally did all 25 floors of Tower of Doom. Nice. Yeah, make sure to do up to 25 completion. So basically getting to floor 26. And that will give you a full reward for the event. Of course, we haven't been making much mention of it since we already finished it way earlier. But yeah, don't forget to go finish out Tower of Doom. You need this to say floor 26, basically, to know that you have finished it. And this means you have claimed all these scrolls that you can off these final battles. Because if you were to go any further than this, these rooms have... they stop giving you those scrolls that upgrade the weapons. So unless you're doing it for leaderboard's sake. Oh, no. How far are we? Might not be worth going for. Let's see. I'll check it later. Because I can currently do about 6 or 7 with what I have. So if we get slightly higher, we can maybe go get those 10 gems. But I don't think it's going to be that big a deal. Trying for that leaderboard. If it was a bit closer, we could probably contest it. But that is a bit of a distance to try solo on our own, assuming most people already did theirs. But it makes such a small difference. The whole entirety of that leaderboard is very weird. I never understood Tower of Doom leaderboard, mostly because there's not much of a point in it. Like, it might as well not even be there. It makes such a small difference. And even getting first place actually makes you lose resources, not gain resources, which is very strange. Of course, a lot of them are sync, but it's a sync that, like, literally everything about it is a net loss. Because at least with the other syncs, you get, like, power orbs and, potentially orbs of ascension, major orbs of ascension, stuff like that. Things that have, not necessarily a set value that are pretty sought after. that technically are worth the gem exchange. But for the for Tower of Doom, you're literally exchanging gems for gems. You're basically exchanging a higher amount of gems for a smaller amount of gems. It's really weird. As far as leaderboard is concerned, that is. Not for the base rewards, but specifically for leaderboard, which is something I never really understood about that leaderboard. Yeah, Life and Death comes out this Tuesday. Or re-releases this Tuesday. Or, you know, you'll be able to get it on this Tuesday. And only this Tuesday. Oh, so hello, Corey G. Welcome. Your guild was slacking on Tower of Doom, so you became... oh, you think it was because of gnomes? But we got one orb and you got a blue. So, oh, nice. Well, at least you got a good orb out of it. Yeah, it's the only problem with the gnome event. Everyone else will, like, drop everything else. It's why I normally say you ideally want to get the weekly event done before Friday. And the main reason for that is people don't tend to really do the event once the vault event starts. Because if you're spending time in the game during that time, during a vault event, you're pretty much just constantly farming gnomes and nothing else. It's because of how good value it is to farm gnomes during that time. Especially to be farming a game mode that doesn't even have a chance of giving you gnomes. Because Tower of Doom has a 0% chance for gnomes. Which reminds me, I need to go do Dungeon. Dungeon does have gnomes, though. Same as your daily adventure board. Pets, oddly enough, do not, though. If you do a pet battle. That's why I normally skip the ones we already have maxed out. Because during the duration of a pet battle, we actually do not get any pets. Or we don't get any gnomes, I mean. Which I find to be a slightly weird location that doesn't have them. I really feel like they should have gnomes in Treasure Hunt. I mean, not Treasure Hunt, in pet battles, I mean. Seems kind of weird that they aren't. Given that a gnome quite literally triggers it. Oh, his board gotta be weird. Triggers kill with that, I guess, at this point. And don't forget to spend 50 gems for the pack today. It is always worth it on Sundays to throw 50 gems for the dungeon pack. It is the only day that is always worth it. The other days could be considered worth it, depending on what you are trying to go for within the game at a current moment in time. However, Sundays are always worth it regardless of what point you are within the game, and even regardless how many gems you have. Even if you only have 50 gems total right now, it is actually worth getting it. It's because it has such insanely good value. More so than pretty much anything you throw 50 gems on. Though you can only buy it once every Sunday. It's 80 diamonds for 50 gems, which alone is already good. Technically 84 because of the 400 shards. But you also get 2 gem keys in the Celestial. So that's 18 gem value right there. That alone is worth the 50 gems. And on top of that, you get 4 more diamonds. Celestial and the souls, which basically cover the shard cost to convert them into diamonds. There we go. Make sure to always get that on Sundays. There we go. Anyways. Next order of business. We did that, we did that, we did that. Now, to go get level 100. That's going to take a while, though, of course. Still got a ways to go. I think we're halfway to 96, if I'm not mistaken, right now. Yep. Or, sorry, it's 95. Halfway to 95. So we still need 5.5 more levels. Which takes approximately 2 hours. Based on the rate that we've been farming at. Or about that long, give or take. What do we grab here? Get that down for now. These easy final levels start taking a lot of XP. Like for right now, we're trying to get to 95. We need 95 XP. Pretty much whatever the level is how much we need to go and get. So if it's level 98, we need 98 XP to get the level. It's always whatever the level of the following level is how much XP you need towards it. So if you're at 49 going to 50, it would be 50 XP. And so on and so forth for every level. Hello, Haley. Welcome. You've been doing Explore 3 with Rowain, Sunbird, Rowain, Leprechaun, and yeah, you can end up doing that with a 50% mana start. With the Possessed Queen. I mean, the Mirage Queen, I mean. Let's see. We'll get that down. Grab our split damage. The Explorer 3 is quicker for gnomes than what we're doing now, but slower for class XP. And since our main goal this weekend has been leveling classes, I've been doing Explore. I mean, I've been doing PvP. However, next one I will be doing Explore, of course. Back to Explore. Because we will be going on a massive token grind starting into next week and into the foreseeable future. Until a patch gets added that gives us something else to grind for. But, yeah, because after we finish out classes, the only major thing I have to grind that currently exists within the game is going to be, what's it called? The, medals. And trying to get all the medals and tokens to go get all the troops upgraded within the game. Which obviously is something that will never be completable. But making progress towards that will be very helpful nonetheless. I still don't have a single mythic upgraded. I have one legend upgraded. That's still 0 mythics. I think I might actually go into Phoenicia as my first one. She's becoming increasingly meta over time. And 6 additional magic furs, 12 additional damage. Which is a pretty substantial amount of damage to be added to her. It's a nice little increase to her range that she'll be able to kill in. Which makes her even better for farming than normal. I'm not going to put in any into her yet. Just because the meta might shift by the time we have enough medals to do so. However, if she's still meta by the time we have enough to fully max her at 100% chance, which means I need 9 Nishas, 3 spears, and then the 6. Because we only need 6 to actually upgrade it, but we need spears, of course, so we can actually set magic. But if she's still meta by then, I'm pretty sure Phoenicia is going to be the first one I go for. At least in the current state of the game. Which seems kind of weird, because about a year ago, I would have probably said she's like one of the worst troops in the game. And that was true then. But then a lot of magic came around, and then it changed. Will we have time to grind for medals after the 5.0 patch? Yes. You'll have plenty of time to grind for it after the 5.0 patch. The bit of grind that's being added next patch. How can I say it without giving it away? It's not too much of a time investment for the most part. Like, it both is and isn't. I don't know. It's hard to explain without saying exactly what it is, actually. Trying to think. Because any kind of hint at it will kind of say exactly what it is. Hey, level 95. Nice. 5 to go. Trying to think of something equivalent-wise in the game, as far as how much time it takes. Or isn't there anything that's like a one-to-one equivalent to it? What is the best way to build Phoenicia, including class talents? The best way to build Phoenicia for quick kill, assumably, because that's the main thing she's used for. Like a Rowan, but for a quick kill. You can use her for other things, however, the primary purpose of her is to be like a Rowan, to kill the range that Rowan can't reach with a single shot, no buff. Because Phoenicia can reach a lot further than Rowan can in that regard, when it comes to higher stats. But the main team she's ran with is any weapon that doesn't block Phoenicia, followed by Phoenicia, Leprechaun, and Mirage Queen. The hero weapon is very flexible as to what it could be. Phoenicia is there as all your damage. Leprechaun there is for mana, and Mirage Queen is for half mana start for her, so that she doesn't take 22 and gets to start with only 11 mana cost. Which helps gets things rolling pretty quick. It allows her to do her quick kill cast, which is pretty much her whole purpose. Basically what Rowan is doing now, but it hits at a much higher range than what Rowan does. And the more magic that comes into the game, the higher the range she'll be able to hit. And she can gain 6 additional magic just from being meddled. Which is actually more of a damage than Rowan gets from being meddled. Rowan gets 6 damage from being meddled. Well, they both get 6 magic. But to Rowan, 6 magic only means 6 damage. But to Phoenicia, 6 magic means 12 damage, because it does double damage whenever there's a red storm. And you normally do it with Sun Spear. Sun Spear is the best way to do it. Mostly because if your battle will be going longer than 4 turns, which if you're using it for something like pet battles, it normally will because you need double cast. It's more beneficial because you'll be able to maintain the double damage the entire time. But yeah, as far as class pick, you always run it with Sun Spear, assuming you're not trying to level up a hero class. Right now, if I was to do it, I'd be using it with Diabolist, just because obviously we're trying to level Diabolist with the red storm that it has, which allows you to still have it for 4 turns. But when you do Sun Spear, you have it forever without needing to worry about it going away, which works very nicely. Yes, there is a new troop coming to Volkes soon, TM. I did notice that too. But yeah, there is another one. I'm not sure what resource it's doing, but there is indeed another one. Pretty much a month from now. But yeah, there will be more boss troops coming into the game as well in the near future. Next patch is setting it up so they'll be able to add more boss troops to the game. They're going to be their own category. The same category of Doom weapons, but, you know, their own category as far as compared to other troops. These are always questionable to how meta they will be, at least in a PvP sense. In a other location sense, they can be pretty powerful. But in PvP and Guild Wars, they might not necessarily be able to get too strong, just because, of course, there are Boss Slayer-related troops. And Boss Slayer-related troops will one-shot them in almost every situation when it's player versus player. Just because doing 5 times damage to them when you're doing similar stats is pretty much an instant one-shot, regardless of what additional effects it has on its ability. So any of the better rage troops going to be pretty popular once we start getting more boss troops in the game. Will they all cost the same amount as Zugoff? That I do not know. We'll have to wait and see. Are there any things about the new patch that you can talk about yet? Nope. Not a single thing I'm aware of, other than the kind of hintiness that we've been doing. But no, I don't think anything has been public yet. Like, officially public. Obviously, some things leaked. But nothing has leaked from the devs. So hopefully they'll mention something on Monday or sometime very soon, so we can mention some amount of stuff. Also, there wasn't any spoiler things on their social this weekend either, unfortunately. Actually, that's not true. I checked on Saturday. I didn't check today, though they normally post on Saturday, but I'll go give it another check. Why not? Let's see. What am I looking for? Gems of War. I don't know spoilers. That's what I thought, but figured I still check. You never know. But nope. Anyways. Please drop us a Volky. You know you want to give us a 10th key. And give us a Mech Gnome so we can be done with it. Mech Gnome? 2 diamonds. Let's see. Throw that over. Also, when we do get a new gnome next patch, or later next patch, it's not immediately next patch if I'm not mistaken, but when we get that new gnome, I might be opening up every last key I have until we get that new gnome, as well as the mech gnome. Because we still don't know what this new gnome is going to do, and it might actually be viable. I'm not sure if it's going to be Cedric level viable, but it has the potential to be viable as an actual troop, rather than a piece of completely dead content that you would just get for collection purposes. Is a mythic coming on a Monday? That should not be the case. But yeah, the mythic should be on Friday. No. It's on a Friday. July 3rd is Friday, right? I'm pretty sure July 3rd is a Friday. But no, it comes out on Friday. Oh, the next mythic is probably related to the patch. Though I think the patch is slightly before that date, so I'm not 100% sure. But no, the fact that the other one's not on a Friday makes sense. Because I'm pretty sure it's the boss one. Which is a different category of troop. It's not actually a mythic. It might still be noted on Terran's World as a mythic, but it's not a mythic. It's a rarity above mythic. Yeah, that's not actually a mythic. It's higher than a mythic. Or it should be. It'll be the second not mythic troop. Or, you know, that one rarity above mythic that exists as of next patch. Troops won't be able to ascend to it, but there will be specific troops that are super hard to obtain that will be under that category. Okay, so that might be it. I'm not sure why it didn't give you mythic at level 500. That's what I thought. Very nice. But yeah, should have gave it to you at 500. Not sure why I didn't. But luckily I gave it to you at 501. Wait, what's happened to the mech gnome? Wait, what? I'm confused. How do we kill the mech gnome? Wait. What happened? We don't have Battle Crasher right now. How did the mech gnome die? Oh, I see how it died. It had 2 HP, didn't it? Did it have 2 HP? Oh, yeah, I see how it died. That's funny. It died to, accursed. It died to this. All enemies lose 2 to a random skill point. We did it to HP, and his mech gnome only had 2 HP. So it died immediately. It's kind of funny. And we get a useless drop off it. But it died to accursed 2 HP damage. That's a weird way to get a kill. Back when stats in the game used to be so low. That's not a bug. That's fully intended what just happened there. I just didn't realize his mech gnome had such a low HP. Do you know if we'll be able to get the new mythic like we do right now? Using keys or crafting, I mean. It'll likely be obtainable through different means. It likely will not be obtainable by the same way that mythics are obtainable right now. All higher rarity troops above mythic, or you know, just the doom rarity or whatever they're calling it. I'm not sure if it's getting renamed next patch or what. But all of those higher above mythic rarity things, they will almost all guarantee be obtained by means that isn't the current means of obtaining things. It might still use similar means like Soulforge, but it'll be quite a bit different than how you normally go about obtaining something. Like one that they mentioned a while back is, which you're likely going to be doing at some point now, is Tower of Doom. I mean, not Tower of Doom. Factions. Having a really high faction renown is likely to give you a special troop. Maybe they'll do it for once we finally have 30 factions. But there's a likely you'll get a Doom rarity troop for like 30 full factions completed or something like that. There's a really good chance they'll do that at that point, which is how many points? That would be 75,000. That's not guaranteed yet, but there's a really good chance one of them will require 75,000 faction renown in order to obtain. And things like that, just really hard to achieve kind of things. But they are likely to all be under untraditional means of obtaining them compared to a normal mythic. Isn't Doom just common? No, Doom is the rarity above Mythic. And it never shows up as white. It shows up as red. As a red border. Wait, all Doom weapons have a red border. They have red borders. Every single Doom weapon. Yep, all red. They'll show up as whatever rarity the a person is, though. So if you see one in a battle, it's going to have likely a blue border. But if you actually click on the thingy, it always has red border. Because when you see it in a battle, it'll always have the border of the hero. But when you click on the card and move over to the thing, it'll always have the border of the weapon. They did that as of several patches ago. Like, for example, he's using a rare weapon, as you can tell by the green border here. But his card is like still this purple color because it's based on his level. But this still has the green border because he's using a rare weapon. He's talking about the Doom troops. Oh, the Doom troops? Yes, the Doom troops are common. All 6 of the Doom troops are common. They are not actually Doom rarity. Doom troops and Doom rarity are 2 completely different things. But it is kind of funny that the Doom troops aren't Doom rarity. But, no, even though they're called Dooms, they're not Doom rarity. They're 2 different things. So hopefully they'll actually rename the rarity, because that is kind of slightly confusing. I'm not sure if it's actually getting a official rename next patch or not. The patch notes will probably mention if it is. They always like using confusing terms, though. Where they'll have like 2 different terms meaning the same thing. And there's a possibility Doom Rarity troops will be called Doom Rarity troops and something else simultaneously. You got your 5th Volky this weekend. Congrats, nice. I'm still trying to find that 10th one. It keeps eluding us. Not sure what's up with it, but it doesn't want to drop for us. Also, let me go see what that one Doom Rarity troop is. I never actually did look it up. Or is it still to be determined? Let's see. Heart of Rage is still to be determined. This is the new legendary. This is the new legendary. What's it called? Vault Troop. So this could potentially be as good as Cedric, because the other legendary from Vaults is Cedric, and he's pretty good. And other than that, we have this Mythic, which is actually a Doom troop, most likely. Not sure why it still shows up as Mythic, though. Probably because in the coding of the game currently, there's no such thing as a rarity above mythic. Or at least the terminology for it. But yeah, this isn't actually a mythic. This is Doom rarity. The rarity above mythic, or whatever they're renaming it to. They're probably going to tweak this ability. Let's see, what does it actually do? Deal magic plus 5 damage to an enemy. Boosted by Doom Skulls. Convert yellow to Doom Skulls. Conjure a Doom Storm. What's that boost ratio doing? So the amount of damage it does is boost ratioed off those Doom Skulls. I wonder if it does it in order where it actually get value off the Doom Skulls that it converts to. I don't believe so. It likely does the damage before the conversion of the Doom Skulls. If it does it the other way around, that's actually a lot of damage. Because if you have something like 10 yellow on the board, there's already 2 Doom Skulls. You do 12 into that. That is 72 additional damage just right there. Though I'm pretty sure it does it the other way around in that it calculates the damage prior to converting the Doom Skulls. But it does have Impervious, so there's a good chance that every Doom Rarity troop will have Impervious. Because this one does as well. It has Firelink, and it has Curse of Rune, which is a 50% chance to curse all enemies when matching 4 or 5 times matches. So they didn't make it a 100% chance. It's kind of interesting because I believe that's the first 4 times stats effect that does not have a 100% chance attached to it, which is going to make it really, really annoying for consistency, which might actually make some other curse options in the game still viable, simply because it's so annoying to actually get that thing to land. I'm really surprised they made a 50% chance rather than 100. That's actually super strange. Not sure why they did it like that. Oh yeah, and this is also noteworthy in the sense that Urskea isn't getting an Impervious troop. This is bad because, well then again, if this is Doom Rarity, it might not actually show up. Because if I'm not mistaken, Zukov not show up in Karkaroff? Does Zukov actually show up in Karkaroff Explorer? I don't believe he does. Though I haven't done enough Karkaroff Explorer to really know. But if he doesn't, then there's a good chance that that Doom Rarity troop, assuming that is, which it should be, won't actually show up in it. Because they both might have immunity from showing up in Explore battles. Because it's Doom Rarity. And the reason why they're not going to show up is Explore doesn't actually go up to Doom Rarity. It goes up to Mythic. The first 4 battles has up to Epic. The second to last battle, the one where you get those little shard thingies, are only go up to Legendary. And the final battle only goes up to Mythic. So technically, if those troops are indeed Doom, you know, the rarity above, and they actually code it correctly, they shouldn't actually show up in Explore. Because they're a rarity above what Explore actually goes up to. So they shouldn't actually show up. But no, it shouldn't affect Urskea farming for that one team. Though there are other teams that will work, even if that was to still show up. Wait, you got 2 new troops? Hey, Volky! I said I'd hand out a code at that. Okay, let me go do the thingy. What am I looking for? I am looking for my Volky number. Where's my Volky number? Volky! There we go. Okay, 10 Volkies. Now, let's go and open up this Volky and hand out a code. Oh, we didn't need any more copies of this, did we? No. I thought we already had it max. It is indeed so. Okay, let's go and clear out the 1 Volky. Come on, Mech Gnome. But even if we don't, we're getting another Gnome troop soon. So we're going to be opening during that to try to get it. Come on, Mech Gnome, or something valuable. Oh, an orb. Has potential. The rest of the drops are horrible if this isn't a blue or purple, though. Come on, blue. Ah, purple. We've been doing really good on purples. We got 3 major purple and a minor purple off of 10 keys. That's a lot of purple. Still very good, though. Major purples are the second best thing technically in Vault keys from a gem value perspective. Even if you don't have all the Guardian troops, a major purple is still the second best drop in Soulforge. I mean, in Soulforge, in Vault key, I mean. And the best is major blue. Oh yeah, let me go hand out code. I said I would go hand one out. Let me go do that. Also, that reminds me, I need to go ask Salty for more codes. Also, who messaged me? Oh, no one messaged me. That was just one of the achievement things on the forum. Yes, the forum has achievements. I did one without even trying, apparently. Let's see. Just randomly gave one for something. Let me go find which one of these codes is active. I believe it's the one that starts with Jim. Actually starts with... oh, actually, I almost just said what that sounds like. I do not want to say what that sounds like, because YouTube will censor me. I almost pronounced the first 3 letters of this word. And if you try pronouncing it yourself, you will know why. That was almost a mistake. Oh, no, never mind. We already handed out this one. But it was GYZ. Wait, yeah, we already handed that one out the other day. Was this one then? That would have been bad to try to pronounce. Wait, how far down did we already use? Gosh, we used a lot more codes than I thought. That's from like a couple days ago. It's because we keep giving out 2 per stream and then the other one. Losing track of how much we've actually been using. Here we go. Finally. Let's see. Copy. There we go. There's the redeem code. Use on jumpsawar.com with the game code section. Your invite code can be found underneath your settings menu. Redeem code's right over there in chat. And give same reward as always. 2 treasure maps, 1 gem key, 200 souls, and 2,500 gold. Enjoy, everyone. Why does Bless not protect you from instant kill? It protects you from a lot of things, but yes, instant kill is not one of them. I think they thought that would be a little bit too broken if it did. Barrier doesn't even protect you from instant kill anymore either. It used to, in some instances. It was kind of inconsistent because some it did and some it didn't. But they changed it as of several patches ago so that barrier always fails against instant kill. Instant kill will always hit through barrier, regardless of the situation. But yeah, the only thing that has immune to instant kill is indestructible. There are currently only 6 player-owned indestructible troops, and they are the 6 Doom troops. The 6 little Doom things that you get from Tower of Doom. Currently, no other troop in the game has that trait. I kind of wish they would give it to all of the Doom rarity troops, like, you know, Zugoff and this new one that's coming out soon. But at this current moment in time, yeah, no relevant troop has it immunity to it. Though there is a trait to have immunity on it, so maybe we'll get it on some amount of troops beyond the Dooms at some point. If it ever starts to get too meta. But at the current state of the game, instant kill isn't particularly meta. Zugoff's really good and used for a lot of things. But as far as player versus player, instant kill isn't like an extremely highly used mechanic for the most part. An occasional Zugoff still comes out. But very rarely would you specifically need immune to indestructible, I feel like, in the current state of the game. You also have to be a little bit careful with that with like things like the raid event and stuff like that. But then again, the raid Zugoff does actually have the capability of hitting through it. He has a special property where you just can, even if it does have immune. Let's see. Go for explosion. I was about to gain a lot of hero levels as well. A lot of hero levels through this week. I forgot we started at this week, but I'm pretty sure it's almost been 10 levels over the course of the week through all of our leveling. Because of course, as we're doing class level, we're passively getting hero level as well. Which once we get all the class XP, I guess is a little bit more of a relevant thing to level as well. Though if we're trying to farm for tokens, we're going to be getting a lower rate of it. Also, can you please get 2 mana? What are you doing? Being 2 mana short for so long. Yep, no problem for the code, everyone. Enjoy. Yeah, I'll be asking Salty tonight. And again tomorrow night. And again on stream. I have enough to last for another week. But it sometimes takes her a week or more longer to get them. So just in case. Yeah, 9 levels seems like about how many I got this week. 9 or 10, somewhere around there. We're getting there. So what level are we at right now? I believe we're at 96 or almost 96 if we're not at it. Yeah, 96. So close yet so far. Yep, 96 and a fourth. So we got 3 3/4 hero classes left. And then we never need to do it again. I know, submerge. How could you? I know, minor trait stones combined with minor trait stones. Not what we want to see. Lucky weekend, 2 mythics, 28 vault keys, and 7 to 8 kingdom stars. Nice. That's a lot of progress. That reminds me, what kingdom star level does Merlantis reach next week? It gets 2 more troops. Ooh, 23 gems. Nice. That's a pretty hefty tribute. Merlantis reaches the star level of... that's the wrong level. 15. Oh no, you know what's going to feel really tempting next week? Because it's reaching 15, I kind of want to go bring it to power level 15. It is very tempting. Very tempting. For 2 Imperials and 10 blues, we can get a permanent +1 HP. Oh, there's our redeem code, of course. Same loot as always. 2 treasure maps, 1 gem key, 200 souls, 2,500 gold. It should still work in chat as well, so make sure to go use it. Because it will probably be dead soon, because it's based on a certain amount of claims. And it goes pretty quick. Hello, Chad. Welcome. Gosh, I hate when the hero XP bar gets close. Because it makes every single battle seem like it's a level. And then 20 battles later, you actually get your level. It's because how slow leveling is later in the game. For your hero level thing. Not the class level, but the hero level. Love's moving up glacially slow. Because every single level you get, it takes more XP. Yeah, something I still don't understand to this day. You get a physical, actual numeric value of XP at the end of every battle, which is something that's been in the game for years now, multiple years. And they still have nowhere in the game where you can see what your total XP is or your total amount of XP toward like your next level or anything like that, even though it shows an XP drop at the end of every single battle. I never understood that. Because it makes the numerical XP drop kind of pointless if you don't know the total of how much you actually need. Because it shows you this, but it never shows you what this is. Which is just super strange. Never understood that. Is it possible to get 15 keys in 25 minutes? Vault keys? Theoretically, yes. Realistically, impossible. Unless you're referring to a different type of key. But if you're referring to vault keys, that is pretty much impossible. Though theoretically, technically, like a really small percent that it could happen. I think the most I ever did in one single hour was 5. Yeah, I'm currently at less than 1 per hour right now. With the 10 vault keys we have. I always feel like I get slightly less than 1 per hour. But there are some luckier times where we get like 2 or 3 an hour. And a consistent almost like 2 average per hour. But lately we've been getting a lot closer to 1 average. If even that. All the pet gnomes are in PvP and arena. Though PvP is quicker to farm them. Oh yeah, true. I haven't actually found a single pet gnome today, have I? We're like an hour in and we haven't found a single pet gnome. Which isn't necessarily a bad thing because my guild already has one active. But yeah, they're hiding today. Which right now isn't actually a bad thing. But once we actually need a gnome, hopefully it'll pop back out. Uh, 60 vault keys would technically be possible. Though realistically, you would have to have farmed for about 15 plus hours a day or so. Unless you got a bit lucky. But some people do grind for that long. But on average, that would take around 15 hours or so per day. To get 60 in a weekend. Or, you know, 15 for the 3 days. And even then, that's not guaranteed. Also, we were just talking about the pet gnome. It came out of hiding. Unfortunately, not at the right time, but it came out of hiding. Yeah, the only problem with pet rescues once you get later into the game is there's no way to focus them. So you end up getting a lot of pet rescues where you already have the troop maxed. Which is annoying because once you have all the food you need and all the troops maxed, there's just so many pet gnome drops that you get for an entire hour that you can't do anything with. Are there any other teams that can perform the way that Phoenicia team can for Explore 5? From what I'm aware of, no. Mostly because there's no mechanic similar enough to her that has a damage range that can reach that high. The closest thing to Phoenicia is Rowain, but Rowain can't hit that high. At least not without a buff, which wastes time. But yeah, the Rowain is the closest similar troop to Phoenicia. And is actually even better than Phoenicia in certain situations. And those certain situations are anything where Rowain has enough damage to kill is when Rowain works better. Phoenicia is only better when Rowain doesn't have the damage to kill out the instance. Let's see, we'll take the red there. Which makes Phoenicia better for pet battles. And it also makes Phoenicia better for Explore 5. Actually, technically, I think I have enough Phoenicia damage. I can even take Explore 6 if I want to. I normally do Explore 5 just in case. Especially if the week has like 10% that could get in the way. Yeah, I've kept count of my gnomes on some weekends. I generally have stopped though. Just because the amount of time it takes to keep track of it sometimes is not worth it, I find. But I have been keeping track of vault keys for almost every vault event lately. Just don't specifically keep track of gnomes always just because it's, I don't know, it's a lot of effort to keep track of it every single time. To get an exact count. Because you normally have to keep track of hundreds. And it's really easy to accidentally forget one or few or several. Because most battles you're doing while farming them go super, super quick. You can easily tell that that battle didn't even have a gnome. Or, you know, that it did, but you know. Like, you could think that it didn't have a gnome, I mean. Ooh, last vault event with no keys. Ouch. Well, at least you got some amount this time. Oh, I should have taken that. Why am I not? Whoops. There we go. Yeah, there's unfortunately almost no way to transfer your seals from one week to the next. The only method you can do, which is kind of funny. Oh, wait, never mind. They removed that, didn't they? You used to be able to do arena. They didn't remove it for this reason. But just because no one was really doing it, I believe. Wait, was that the one they removed? I think it was. But you used to be able to do arena to full completion and then pass the score to your next week. Let's see, was that the one they removed? I know they removed one from the seal tasks. Yeah, they did remove the arena one. So there used to be an arena task here where I think you got 30 or 20. You got like 20 or 30 seals for completing out an arena run. I think it was 30. And basically what you could do is you complete up all the way to the entirety of the run right before you claim the loot. And then if you claim the loot from the battle from completing out arena the following week, it would give you those seals on the following week rather than on your current week, even though you completed it out technically on the previous week. But as long as you claim the rewards on the following week, it would roll over to the other week. However, that's not possible anymore because it's not a task anymore. That used to be one of the only ways where you can kind of delay it. That wasn't really ever worth doing because it was only 30. It's not like it would get you a lot. But yeah, that's actually been removed from the game. That wasn't the reason why it was removed from the game. But it was removed from the game nonetheless. Because they replaced that with a different task instead. Because they were planning on reworking Arena and then never did. They will be later this year, supposedly. Same as Treasure Hunt. Something that has been requested for ages by a lot of people. Hopefully they finally get around to it. Last year they said they would do PvP at the end of the year and never did. And this year they said they'll do Treasure Hunt and Arena. So we'll see if it actually happens. Because we still never got that PvP rework from last year. But it seems very likely we'd likely get the Arena Treasure Hunt one. I just hope they don't kill Treasure Hunt. There's a possibility they buff nerf it. And they change it to the point where it actually reduces the loot overall. It doesn't transfer to the next week, though. But it would allow you to gain more seals than you normally would be able to. But it doesn't transfer to the next week. I don't think it does. I don't know, does the 24... No, the 24-hour limit wouldn't. Because the reset on the following day would have already resetted by that time. But yeah, it would still allow you to claim more seals, though. I don't normally bother doing that, though. Do you have to do a vault once you get the vault keys? No, you can hold them for however long you want. But yes, to get the loot out of the vault key, you would have to do the vault key, of course. Luckily, the Cedric from the battle doesn't escape, so they're pretty easy. Though do make sure not to lose them. While it's really hard to lose a vault battle, if you were to lose a vault battle, you would get no reward. But you can hold vault keys for as long as you want. We have 200 Volt keys sitting around that we've been holding for over a year now. Hey, level 97, we're almost there. 3 more levels. We're so close. Let's see, what is that an exact amount of battles? Or at least approximation. That would end up being, let's see, pretty much whatever 98 times 3 is at this point. Since we've already done a couple battles. Which comes out to 296. No, sorry, 294. Oh, which is half that many. Which is 147? Yeah, 147. More battles is how many we need to get in, approximately. So close. It doesn't take too long given the rate at which we win them. Sounds like a lot of battles. There's not too many battles. Because we're pretty much getting 2 done per minute. Are the daily tasks above Adventure Board worth doing? Always, yes. If you're currently getting random ones, you definitely want to make sure you get all of them done. Because then you start unlocking the really good ones. The 20 free gems per day, as well as the potential of getting 100 free gems in a day. But yeah, you should always be doing whatever the tasks are above the thing. And the earlier you get them done in early game, the more gems you'll be able to get. Because then you at minimum get basically 20 free gems a day. Because doing 100 kills is pretty simple. Because it's just 25 battles. And even if you just quick kill explore, or if you just do, even if you just do your daily adventure board and your dungeons, that alone is almost already 100 kills. Just those 2 things alone. Which takes like 5 minutes or so. Maybe a little bit longer in the early game. Closer to like 10 or 15. It's still pretty quick nonetheless. And it's almost enough kills to get the 20 free gems per day. The only good thing out of this event is Class XP. Well, you get a lot of Vault Key chances, but obviously you can get unlucky on them. But even just base gnome loot isn't that bad. It's the normal gnome loot that you get from them. Yeah, that paddle probably would have been fine. But this one's even better. Assuming Spare Fox isn't traded. Which luckily isn't. Well, it has a trait, but it's not fully traded. Though he knows he wants to get it fully traded. It's actually not a bad one to get fully traded in early game. 2-to-1 boost ratio is actually pretty good on it in early game. Not enough necessarily to get a one-shot, but it's definitely a pretty high amount of damage. Some instances it probably could. That's still a relatively low amount of damage. He normally hits in like the 20-ish range, or 30-ish range. Depends what your magic is. And how much boost ratio you get from yellow to damage. These does 1 additional true damage per 2 yellow that it removes. If anyone has any questions or anything you want me to go over, do let me know. Because, of course, the rest of the stream we shall be grinding to 100 Diabolists. Which should probably take about another hour at this point, I would say. How much more we need to grind? Because, as I mentioned, we're doing about 2 per minute. And at this point, we need probably about another 130 battles. It's actually a little over an hour then. But it must be done. It's better to do it now while we have a vault event than some other time. And we still do have vault event for several more hours. If anyone still wants to get that last minute grind in. Still 5.5 more hours of it left. We'll probably be going for about an hour, hour and a half more of that. Made to level hero level 1099 today. Nice. Congrats. Only 1 more level. And you get an extra stat. I completely forget what stat you get at 1100. Well, you get something extra. To your hero, that is. Gosh, we keep getting this battle now, though. I'm perfectly fine getting this battle on repeat. It's always like that 1 or 2 battles that always keeps coming up. And ideally, you'll want that to be the very weak battle. Right now, it seems like we have it that way. It's weird how it always shifts. Like, even during the stream, you can see it shifting some. As far as what battle it gives. Still showing some repeats. But like compared to where we started compared to now, in the stream it's giving different ones. Matchmaking is very weird. Oh gosh, what are you doing? 1 mana short. Luckily it doesn't have spell reduction. It's low enough level that we kind of could assume. It's one of the other good reasons for doing under 5,000. Anyone under 5,000 generally will not be fully traded on anything. It's not a guarantee that they won't be. That's very unlikely. Because having traits gives you rating. And also just early on in the game in general, you just don't tend to trait things yet. For one, depending on how low a level they are on, they might not even know that they can. But even if they do know that they can, they don't generally have the resource to do much. Like right here. Hey, it does have one fully traded though. Proving me wrong. It's not a relevant one though. Doesn't have any kind of revive on death or anything really annoying. Gosh, a level 11. Not the first level 11 we found this weekend. Actually, is that the same guy or is that a different one? I think it's a different one. Every weekend when there's a vault event, you are too busy to spend 72 hours grinding it. And the devs assume everyone does. Most people probably don't grind for that long. I know on average, I probably only grind a vault event for 10 to 20 hours on average. And I think this time around will be close to, I want to say 16 hours? I still have no clue exactly by the time we finish everything out. I've definitely missed complete vault events though. I think there was 3 vault events last year that I just completely missed and didn't do a single battle on. But my resource numbers have still been fine. Like, it helps a lot, but it's not 100% necessity to grind it. This is a great way to gain resources. But it's definitely not needed for progression. There's a lot of other things in the game that could do that. Also, while we are getting something new to grind next patch, it is very lenient on time. In a specific way that will be really obvious once it comes out. But the next system that they're adding, they're kind of aware of this. And they've been wary about adding more grinds into the game. And while they still want to add more content for people, they're doing it in a way that is extremely lenient as far as when you get around to it. Which I can mention once we finally get spoiler images. Or more explanation on the patch. Well, it'll be really obvious what I mean once I can explain it fully. Gosh, stop giving us pet gnome. Unless our pet has expired, stop giving it to us. I don't need them. Unless you're going to drop a Volkey with it. Nope. Let's see, how much timer is on that thing? We got 13 minutes until the next one expires. Or until that expires so we can go get a next one. Seems like they never release new content or fixes we currently have already. They like to patch dedicated to that. They have in the past. However, we haven't gotten one recently. But yes, we have had patches that were dedicated to things similarly along those lines. But it has been a while since we have gotten one that was like that. Yeah, once we can say stuff about the patch, I will. I've been teasing a lot of things because I've been trying to, like, answer questions without actually saying it. But, once we actually can, there's a lot to go over with next patch, of course. I believe they're doing a preview stream of it in 2 weeks. But we might have additional info prior to that point. But after that point, we should be able to spill pretty much everything related to next patch. Even if it's not necessarily out yet at that point. Good, another gnome. Exactly what we want to see. Oh no, submerge. On the gnome as well. The exact opposite of what we want to see. It's actually kind of funny. The dreaded submerged gnome. I don't think I've ever actually seen a gnome get submerged. Oh no! No! No, 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 no. Okay, good. He almost a submerged ran away from us. Oh, all he gave us was gold though. That's pretty funny. The submerge almost made the gnome live. It's the first time I saw that happen. random stats effects emerge to a gnome. That would have been really disappointing if that got away. Luckily it didn't. Let me cast. There we go. I know, a revive. Luckily kill with that. Luckily they nerfed that down to 33%. Still very annoying though. Used to be 50%. Wait, did it nerf it to 33 or 30? Never mind, it might have been nerfed to 30 actually. Two mech gnomes and one Volky? I don't think that is possible. Because only Cedric has it. What, does PS4 have a special property with it? Because I know on PC and mobile you can only ever get one at a time. Because only the Cedric has that as a drop. The normal gnomes don't. What that one troop does is not actually something random. They just did that as like a fun random troop that they added. It's a joke to the old servers that they had. But as far as what it actually does, it has several predetermined abilities. What that is, I am not fully sure what the full list is. We covered a video on him ages back. However, since then, they've added like an extra 10 or something to how many things he does in one patch, like a year or year and a half after, randomly out of nowhere. It's kind of weird. But, yeah, he does a lot of random things. But they are predetermined from a list. And yes, he is a very useless troop. He's required for an achievement, though. I think you have to cast him or own him, one or the other, for one of the achievements within the game. But, yeah, he's very useless. You would never actually use them. Even if every single random thing he had was good, the amount of randomness it would have would just be way too much for it to actually be viable. Oh, level 98. 2 more to go. Random mechanics tend to be pretty bad in this game. The more random something is, unless this is a really powerful random, it tends to be bad. Volky! That's a very powerful random. Let's see. Let's go put that there. Save that. Okay, let's go see what's in this key. Hopefully something juicy. Yep, 201. Let's go use our 11th key. Hopefully we'll get a dozen. Get one more while we're trying to get those last 2 levels, hopefully. Okay, what do we have here? Come on, good loot. Okay, we got an event key, so at least we get that if we don't get anything from this major. And hopefully this is a blue or purple. Could you imagine if this was another purple? We've gotten 3 major purples so far. 3 major purples and a minor purple. Nope. Ah, great. No. It's like the last thing we want to see. Rip. Well, we finally got a bad major orb. I think that was actually the first bad major orb we've gotten this event, oddly enough. We have 3 major purples and a minor purple. Are the relevant orbs we've gotten so far from 11 keys. Technically from 9 by the time we actually had them. Or 10, whatever it was. Which is pretty good overall. I don't know, it was about time we finally got a bad orb. Is Cedric supposed to come up in the event too? What event? He's always available in Volkies. Even if it's not the event. But you can always get a Cedric drop regardless if it's a Vault event or not. The only reason why it's a higher chance of getting him during a Vault event is not because he has a higher chance of falling, but because you'll be able to get more Volkies. And more Volky chances give you more chances at getting him. But no, his rate of dropping is not increased during a Gnome event. The chance of getting a Cedric from a Volky is the same during a Vault event than not during a Vault event. The only thing that's different is you'll be able to get a lot more Volkies to try for him. But no, he can't fall in a certain battle. He's only ever in Volkies. You can't find him randomly on a battle. He only ever appears one guarantee during Volkies, but he's not never appears anywhere else. And there's always one per Volky. That's the only time he ever appears. Oh, I should have just went for that blue. I'm not sure what your question is then. Let's see. Go for that one. And that should be a dud. Has a random stats effect to start a battle. Ideally, whenever we are up against one of those battles, they do not get barrier submerged, but it's very annoying because you get it on the very first trait. So quite a few newer players might end up setting it. It actually is the strongest thing to set on most things that do have it, because the other two options are pretty bad. But the big issue with it is, of course, it's really accessible to newer players, and they can randomly gain a barrier submerge without us really knowing that they will. Come on, we're so close. Still got a little while to go, though. Because I think we're a little bit less than halfway on 98 to 99. And I just got to get 100. How many Volkies do you get as a drop in the vault? How many have I gotten? Only ever 2. I've opened 100 of Volkies, and I've only ever gotten 2 Volkies from drops. Or was it 2 or 3? Actually, it might have been 3. Because we got one the other day. So I think 3 now. We've gotten 3 Volkies within hundreds of Volkies opened. It's a very low chance. I think it's deliberately lower, specifically within the vault battles. Because that is way below drop rate. But yeah, if you mean during a vault event, the amount of Volkies you guys just determined based on how many you can grind out for. It lasts for 3 full days, which is less than that many hours. It's what's 24 times 3? That's 72 hours, right? It goes for 72 hours. Means it lasts for all Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for about once every month. And it increases the chance that you'd find gnomes, as well as finding Volkies from those gnomes. There's still a Volky chance when you do vault fights, but it's very low. But it's technically possible to find a Volky and a Volky. We did earlier this week, though oddly enough, not during this vault event. Yeah, mech gnomes have made it a lot easier to get all the metal thingies, or all of the ingots that you need. It drastically increased the rate of epics that are within the game, as well as just being able to get any of them. It drops 20 ultra rares as well, which is a really hefty amount of ultra rare drops. It's 9 legendary one isn't that bad either. The 4 mythic one's pretty bad though. Just because of how many more you can get from doing delves. Technically the 9 legendary one's also bad for that reason. But the 20 ultra rare and 12 epic one, and the very rare 50 epic one that it has, are super good drops. Which is kind of funny given that the ultra rare one's actually the lowest rarity one. But it's good because it can be converted to 2 epics, or you can use it to upgrade ultra rare weapons if you haven't already finished them. And 20 is a lot to put towards that. Yeah, unfortunately, it doesn't have a console cross-platform. Also, gosh, 3 Firebomb teams all at once. But I should have seen what each one of them were. That would have been funny if all of them were 4 times Firebomb. Pretty sure they were all different variants. But anyways, what was I saying? But yeah, as far as consoles, no console has cross-platform to the PC mobile version. Anything that has any amount of cross-platform is PC mobile. And then every other version is its own independent version of the game. Which is unfortunate, but is the way it is. It has to do with policy on all the console versions that kind of prevents them from doing so. 10 straight mech gnomes, gosh, that's a lot. Not sure what the longest streak I've ever gotten of the same gnome. Come on, give us a good battle. There we go. Finally. Come on, we're so close to 99. Gosh, we got another curse instant kill. It feels so weird to do, but their stats are so low that we can actually get a free kill at the start of battle. I wonder what would happen if you won before the battle started. I don't think I've ever seen that yet. Has anyone tested that? What happens if you win a battle before the battle's even started? The only way you can do that in the current state of the game is if you have 4 troops with a cursed, and the enemy has such a low HP, and you hit on HP for pretty much all of them, and it kills all of them with their HP accursed, which would make it so you would win before your traits are even finished initializing, as long as the final accursed is not the final trait of the 4th troop. I'm not sure if anyone has ever bothered testing that to see what would happen. I'm not sure if it would soft lock or not. I'm pretty sure it would just give you the auto win without any turns going by. I don't think it would soft lock. But I've never seen an instance of it because it's never realistically been possible to do, even though it's technically possible. Or just is an easy way to set up for it in the current state of the game. They'd have to somehow find someone who has like 6 or less durability on every single one of their troops, which would be very hard to do. You'd have to basically get like a brand new account and test it with that. What is the best curse troop? There's a couple of them. Overall, I'd probably say Mirage Queen, which is actually we're using on our team right now, even though we're not using it for its curse option. But it's because it has so many other good purposes. It has 50% elemental start, which is the main thing it's used for. It has 33% score reduction. It has green to Doomskull conversion. But it also has one of the best curses in the game. Be able to 4 times curse the opposing team with his ability that already has Doomskull attached to it, which gives it really good value. Aside from that, one of the other pretty consistent ones of doing is, oddly enough, Vosh Dagon. He gets a curse every brown, And this is very strong because he's normally used within compositions where you also get barrier every round, basically allowing you to both curse and barrier every round. There's also a new troop that came out a couple weeks ago, Basilisk, which in combination would allow you to barrier, curse, and stun every brown you take, which is a lot of value for taking a brown. I have no clue how many PvP battles we're getting done in an hour. I believe we're doing about 2 per minute, so I think it's about 120 in an hour. I haven't been keeping track of exact, but that should be about where it's falling. And that's counting all loading screens and repicks and everything. Okay, we're almost at 99. And then, of course, 100. So very, very close. It's going to feel so weird once I finally get it. Because for the last 2 years, we've been needing to go out of our way for these things. And then, out of nowhere, we'll be back to not needing to. Yeah, we got squid. I can't remember if I maxed that or not. That's not where you check. Oh, nope, I have not. Good thing I checked. Let's go change to a Phoenicia team. Let's see if I can remember what this team is. Well, first we need Diabolus, obviously. Let's see. We need Phoenicia. We need Leprechaun. We need Mirage Queen. And we need some kind of hero weapon. Where'd it go? There it is. Alright, that should be good. And we change our banner accordingly. Which I believe a red-green's pretty good. Yeah, why not? That's +2 red, +2 green. This is beneficial because this allows us to 5 times full mana off a red or green. Kind of like how Rowan can 4 times 5 times off of 2 different colors. This allows Phoenicia to 5 times off of 2 different colors. And you want to make sure you always set up her to be able to do that. Helps speed things up slightly. Because if you get a good starting board with either of those 2 5 times, it speeds it up. Rowan has a much wider range of what it can get a speed up off of. But you still gotta do the same for Phoenicia to at least give her a chance at getting it. Even though she gets it a lot less commonly. Also, before I forget, let me go get magic. Because we do need magic when doing this build. Also, we're going to default be keeping +4 magic a lot more often. Starting soon. Rather than the armor thing. Let's see. What, can I please click the right screen? Get to the pet battle. There we go. Phoenicia is this troop right here. It's relatively hard to obtain, though. It's a mythic. It's a Suncrest mythic. But basically, the reason it's viable is it does damage to all enemies. It boosts based on red and burning enemies, so mostly red gems on the board, which on average is about 10-ish additional damage. Right now it's 12 additional damage. But the main value she gets is if there's a Firestorm, she gets double that value. So normally you run this with Sunspear, which has Perpetual Firestorm. But you can also run it with any hero class with Redstorm to get Class XP on it, like we're doing right now. But ideally you do it with Sunspear. And this ends up being a lot of damage because you get to double all these values. So this 12 damage that we have right here is actually 24 damage because she gets to double it. And she also gets to double any extra magic that you give to her. So plus 12 magic that we're giving her from Nisha medals is now 24 damage. And if we were to ever fully medal her, she gains 6 additional magic, which is actually 12 additional damage. So she gains a lot of additional damage from the magic that she gets, which also scales very well as we get higher stats into the game. And she has a really wide range of what she can actually one-shot. Oh no, the yellow storm counter. That's why you normally go Sun Spear. Obviously we're not, because we're trying to level up the Obelisk. But a nice thing about Sun Spear is you never need to worry about not having Red Storm for her. Because the second it comes back to your turn, you have Red Storm again. The only problem with her is her traits are pretty bad. She gets 1 extra damage per red ally, which at minimum is at least 2 damage if nothing else. But that normally doesn't do too much. And she also gets a 50% chance to burn a random enemy at the start of her turn, which generally speaking is only going to give her 2 additional damage over the course of a battle. Well, technically 5. 3 damage to 1 enemy and then 2 to all enemies for the boost ratio. So I guess theoretically if you break it down like that, if she gets 1 single burn, she would have theoretically have done 11 additional damage. 3 because of the 1 burn turn, and then 8 because of the 2 damage to all enemies. So I guess if you put it like that, that's actually not that bad. Overall, it's pretty bad. Let me go get this thing up. Anyways, kill it out. That should be a wipe. What kingdom or kingdoms are most vulnerable to curse? Well, it depends what team you're using. In many instances, you don't even need to use curse. Because unless you're using a really heavy stats effect team like an Iron Gut or something, you don't normally need curse in your team. That's just Skyla's being annoying. Keeps getting in the way. There we go. However, if you were to use one most effectively, I'd say KZL probably has the most amount of, or the most that you can counter with the curse. Because KZL has a lot of immunities off their dwarves, and curse can bypass them all. But again, that's only viable if you're actually using a stats effect team. Otherwise, curse has pretty much no value. Phoenicia didn't get mana quick enough. Oh no! We might actually lose this battle. Don't even have a storm to go with it either. I'll take this purple just so we can go get a nice hit off. And that should be match as soon as we cast it, if he doesn't find a way to kill us before then. Or there. Then again, I think we will need Devour Submerged. There we go. And we only got 1 squid. Not better than nothing. Still need another 12. Anyways, back to the normal grinds. Let's see how much more XP we need now. So close! So close! 2 battles and we're at 99. I just need to get the final level. I'll need to go see if any of the big codes work. I think once we hit level 100, we will hand out a big code. For everyone who is stuck around. But yeah, we'll hand out a really big code for when we hit 100. Assuming I have any left. I'm not sure if I have any left. But I shall double check. If we still have any left after that, we'll probably use it for 5.0. Here's level 99. 1 more to go. For our 100th level 34 hero class. Which will be all of them maxed. Did I say 100th? I meant 34th level 100 hero class. What do you recommend, Mistralis or Wild Queen? One of those will be next craftable. Wild Queen is better. If you're going to pick one of those, definitely go Wild Queen. Especially if you're trying to build better PvP builds. Like, that's our whole purpose is PvP builds. I mean, Guild War builds. But they're both the same thing, kind of. But she's insanely good in Guild Wars. She might single-handedly be the best single troop that you can get for Guild War score. Because she can score 9,600 pretty easily on brown, purple, and green day. Mostly because everything her ability does is really good for score. She lowers their attack so that they can't hit you to do damage. So you could basically skull distract forever. You gain attack, which allows you to kill them quicker. You gain mana accumulation with extra turns, which allows you to waste less turns so that you win quicker and lose less score. And you also end up getting mana accumulation, which you need to get a lot more mana accumulation than the enemy. And all those factors in combination just makes your score so ridiculously good at Guild Wars. Because every aspect of her ability just plays right into it. She could have a better final trait, but her cast is so good that it doesn't even matter that her traits are rather average. Or even below average. But her ability is where all the value is at. Ever since they buffed her the last year, she's been insane for that. Can you tell me what the code is if you're going to the big code? You have a brailing unit ready to type it. Oh, sure. Yeah, I can end up saying what it is. I'm not sure if we're going to have a bigger one or not. I'm not sure if I even have any left. I have a list of them still, but I'm not sure which ones we have or have not used. But we'll find out. Yeah, Mang is the strongest weapon that is easily accessible. It's a weapon that you get really early on in the game, and you could pretty much win almost any battle with it. It's not the best option always, but if you had nothing else to use, it's generally the go-to weapon. Because you use it with like something like Titan Hero class or anything similar that gains barrier or brown. And then you have really high damage while also having really high durability. And it has a lot of battles that can end up taking out. It scales very well to higher pieces of content that you might not have other options for yet. Yeah, it's a really good weapon. A lot of early game teams, particularly for game modes that have really high stats, you pretty much build entirely around Mang in every single one of them. Because it's the most viable option you would have earlier on in the game and mid-game. At least until you get better troops over time. Actually, you know what? I'm going to grab that. It's a free turn thing just sitting there. Actually, let me go check right now because we're obviously going to be reaching that. Let me go see if one of the bigger codes will work. For when we do hand it out. So I'm going to check my code list. Where's my code list? Yeah, I'm not sure if I have any left. I have a list here. I'm not sure which one of these are accurately marked or not. Let's see, does this one work? We'll find out. Oh, it does. Ooh, shiny. Let me go mark it so I know I used it. Yes, all these in between here are probably going to work. If that's the case, though I'm not 100% if each of these work. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7 big codes left. The next one will probably give out for 5.0 patch. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Okay, I'll hold on to that until we reach level 100 then. Put it on copy paste. Yeah, that should be the right bigger code. I'll go double check. It's not too much more loot, but it is a little bit bigger. Yep, it is. Instead of the normal stuff that it gives, not that one. It gives 5,000 gold, 25 gems, and 500 souls. Right in the normal one we hand out. With the 25 gems obviously being the really big thing in it. But we'll have that in soon. As soon as we hit level 100. Is Champion of Anu worth crafting? For the most part, no. It's one of the last few mythics you would get. It's like the last 20% of mythics you'd probably get. It's pretty much around the time when you're deciding which Sword's Edge mythic you wanted to go for. Is pretty much the time you would consider going for him. Anytime prior to that, you wouldn't really do it. Unless you specifically need him to get 10+ star Sword's Edge, and you already have a lot of other mythics and you just want to finally go get Sword's Edge to 10+ star. That is pretty much the only time you'd bother crafting him. Between Champion of Anu and the other troop that's available, I do feel like Champion of Anu is slightly more viable. The other one's a lot tankier, but I feel like it doesn't really get to do much. Because it can be countered pretty easily, even though it's relatively tanky, because you just stun it and you just lose all of its tankiness. Whereas Champion of Anu can actually get a pretty big cast off. But it's very rarely used, Champion of Anu. It's a pretty underwhelming troop. You only get it for Sword's Edge 10 star plus. as it or the other troop is required. And between the two of them, Champion of Man, who I feel is slightly better. Oh yeah, we did finally hit double digits on Valky. We got 2 to stream so far. So we did pretty good on these days, I guess. We did 5 on Friday. We did 4 yesterday, and we did 2 today. It's not too bad. And right now we're leveling the final hero class. Final level of our final hero class, and then we'll hand out a big code. If we can ever find easy battles, come on now. We're so close. So very close. It's going to feel so weird not needing Class XP anymore. Because pretty much for a third of this game's duration, we've been needing to do this. And now we're suddenly never going to need to do it again. After all this time. Because it's been like this for 2 years now. And then we will be done. And then we can go grind, explore instead. That endless grind. However, you technically don't need to max everything with it. You just need to max out key troops. Phoenicia is probably my main target. Assuming she's still going to be meta like 4 months from now. I almost have said 4 years. But she probably should still be a meta 4 months from now. Possibly even 4 years from now. They would need to add a really, really big AoE to outdo her. How can you make more glory before the week's ends? You need 1 more Bolino to go. It's currently a vault weekend, so you actually picked the perfect time to need glory. Just simply go win Explore or PvP very quickly. Like with a similar team to what we're using now, where you basically just get a really quick Rowan cast to one-shot the enemy team. This is easiest done in Explore difficulty 1, 2, or 3, whatever you can one-shot. And just keep rinse and repeating until you find a Glory Gnome. A single Glory Gnome drop should give you enough glory to get it. It could take about an hour to go get it. But, yeah, you should be able to get it in under an hour. And 1 single Glory Gnome drop would likely be enough glory. Glory Gnome has 3 main drops, 200 glory, 500 glory, and 1,000 glory. So simply finding a Glory Gnome is probably all the glory you'll need. If it wasn't a Gnome event, your best bet would probably be spamming Treasure Hunt or spamming 2 or 3 trophy PvP. But given that it's a Gnome event, you can just go for quick kills anywheres and just simply find a Glory Gnome and that should cover it all. Well, do you have Rowan yet? If you complete a Forest of Thorns, you get Rowan for free. If you have Leprechaun, you can fully trade that. And then that should be able to kill out Explorer 1 in any location you want. Should be enough damage. But if you can't do that, your best bet would probably be just fighting really weak PvP over and over again. Because that will give you a decent amount of glory per battle. Even if you don't get Glory Gnome. And you'd still have a chance to find Glory Gnome then. And if you have over 100 maps, you can simply just use all those maps. And that should give you enough glory. Specifically stopping at the bronze chest. Because that would maximize the amount of glory you would get. If you stop at bronze and a little bit of green. Normally you stop at the green chest because that gives the maximum gems. But stopping at bronze would give maximum glory. That would only be viable if you already have the maps, though. Buying maps and doing that would net lose you glory. But using it with already maps you have in stockpile would net you glory. Can we get mana? Yes, we can. We could drop that, and then he's dead. Oh, you only have 5 maps? Well, you can still use those. 5 maps can transfer over to about 100 glory, if not more. Which if you only need 1 bully, no, that's a good number of the glory you need. Also, if you haven't already done 1.9k in PvP, you gain glory from that. And oh, also, this is the glory gnome I was talking about. If you find this thing, it gives you 200, 500, or 1,000. I got the lowest drop there. As you can see, in one single drop, we got 200 glory. We've also been getting a small glory for per PvP battle. That's a pretty small amount, though. But if you find a glory gnome, that's almost all the glory. Like, this is the lowest drop she can give you is 200. Anything else would instantly give you enough if you find one. Though the only funny thing that could happen, it is possible she drops a vault key, which is normally considered a better drop, but if you're specifically looking for glory, that would be a kind of funny fail. But realistically, she would drop a glory. We're almost there. It is almost big code time. I haven't posted to my social media for a while for the channel. I should go and post that we have every hero class maxed. Because it has been done, or it will be soon. There's not really a good screenshot you could take that would show that you have every single hero class max, though. Because there's no location that says, hey, here's how many level 100 hero classes you have or something like that. I'll probably screenshot the exact moment we get the thingy then. Would probably work better. During vault events, do you get any extra value in the treasure map room? No. Treasure maps do not gain any additional value. Basically meaning it's a really bad idea generally to run treasure maps during a vault event. Like, you can still run a few, but running like dozens upon dozens of maps is normally not advised during a vault event because you get so much better value doing almost any other location. Yeah, treasure hunts are a pretty bad value during vaults. At least if you're planning on using like hundreds of them. If you're just throwing down like a few or a few dozen, it's not that bad. The universe crashes just as we get there. We're almost there. Actually, I had a really bad thunderstorm here earlier today. As well as yesterday. I'm just surprised electricity didn't go off at all. Yeah, we only need 14 more battles after this one. 14 more will do it. $13. Let's start counting it down. $12. This is a really slow countdown. $11. Oh, not yet. 11. $10. So very close. Oh, good. Wow, Vespera at that level? That's really nice. Oh, we don't even get to see it. It got replaced with a gnome. What a fail. 9. Useless soul gnome drop. Or not even a soul gnome. It was a normal gnome giving a smaller amount of souls. Which is even worse than soul gnome. 8. Seven. So close. 6. Actually, not yet. 6. Oh, we're only 6 battles away from finally maxing. You made it right in time, Simpleman. But we're 6 battles away from having every hero class max. Which takes a very long amount of time. 5. What'll we finally be done? Four. Slowest countdown ever. Mostly because we can only count down like 2 numbers every minute or so. 3. Two. We're so close. Let me double check the XP amount. I want to make it full screen so we get a better resolution of it. Yeah, 2 more. I counted correctly. So let's do this battle, then 1 more. Hey, we got a pet gnome. We're also handing out a big code for when we hit it as well in a moment. 1. The final battle. Who will it be against? We will be up against someone named Cruzado. Okay, and before we finish out this battle, for the final 0, let's go make it full screen. Oh, this might make it look weird on screen, though. I want to get a nice screenshot of it. Oh, wait. Oh, but then it's going to make it look weird after the fact. When you guys see it. Oh, no. What's the solution to this? I want a full resolution picture of the thingy. But also make it look weird on stream, because I don't think I could readjust the thingy after. Oh, let's take it at a lower resolution. Posting is so short, it shouldn't be that big a deal. And 0. As soon as we kill it out. It has been done. And there we go. The final level 100. We have done it. We now have every hero class in the entire game maxed. And never need a farm class XP ever again unless they change something that will cause us to have to do so. But here we go. Let's go look at our classes now. All the precious 100s. Let's just do a double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34... Yeah, 34. That's all of them. And there it is. All 34 hero classes, level 100. It has been done. Let me go give Diabolus this thing. Even though it gains like nothing from it. Let's see. Do you gain anything? Oh, you get triple damage on burning, I guess. Another hero class with that. There we go. It's definitely one of the weaker ones with it, that's for sure. There we go. It has been done. And here you guys go. Here's the big code. So definitely make sure to use that. I believe it has slightly less claims as well. And it has much better loot than normal. 500 souls, 25 gems, and 5,000 gold. There you guys go. It's like about 3 times better loot than a normal code we give. Also because of the gems. There you guys go. enjoy, everyone. And we'll probably have another big code for 5.0 patch. We give them out very rarely. But this is definitely an occasion to give them out on, that's for sure. But there we go. Anyways, anyone else have any other questions before we wrap up? Otherwise, yeah, our main goal this weekend has been achieved. Though we didn't do our secondary goal. I kind of wanted Mech Gnome, but oh well. There's another Gnome coming in about a month, so ideally we'll get Mech Gnome while trying to attempt for that other Gnome. And that'll work out that way. But, yeah, there we go. We are finally done with grinding hero classes. Our next big grind is tokens. Ideally to go get, start working on getting Phoenicia upgraded. So that we have a fully traded Phoenicia. It's not something we'd really use for guild wars and stuff that often. However, it's used in quite a few farming situations, increasingly more so in the game. So I figured it'd be a pretty good option to that to consider upgrading. Obviously, it'll be a while before we even can, and probably a few months before we can even get before we can get her upgraded. But sure, probably the next thing I go for, assuming the meta doesn't change by then too much. Did you already traded them as well? Yeah, they should all be traded. Dabless was the only one I didn't trade. Dabless hero class. And I believe I've traded at this point because I needed to for the kingdom upgrade. So yeah, they're all fully traded. They're all fully upgraded. They're all fully everything. We have all their weapons. We have all their perks. We have all their everything. They're all fully traded. There's not a single thing about them that's not fully maxed. Finally. I'm not going to click on every single one. It's going to take forever. They're all traded. I can guarantee you because Dabless was the only one I ever didn't trade. So if I just simply check that one, we know we did them all. Because I know for sure I traded every single last one of them. Otherwise. Because we always trade them immediately. Dabless was the only one I didn't at the time. Just because it has a really bad final one. But I eventually needed it like several months ago for a kingdom upgrade. So I didn't eventually give in and upgraded it. But no, we've upgraded all of them. And I'm not going to click on every single one. That will take forever to click every single one. Trust me, we've traded them all. If you look back at every single time we use a different hero class, they're all traded. But anyways, that's super easy to do. I think if we needed to trait them, we could easily trait them. We only have 1.5 billion arcanes. What is our lowest arcane right now? It's 500 something. Yeah, I think 546. What was the 546? There's a 546 down here. I think it was brown. No, yellow. That's actually weird, given that it's from Whitehelm. Whitehelm used to be like so overly done. But yeah, pure yellow is actually the lowest one right now. We only have 546 only. That's an absurdly high amount. But, yeah. I think we're good. On trade stones. Wait, 530 is the lowest? Where's the 530? Oh, yeah, you're right. Pure green. You're right. Arcane green from Forest of Thorns is actually our lowest. Not like it matters much. Any number above, like, 300 is pretty much infinite in the current state of the game. Like, the chance of us ever running out of any of these is pretty much impossible, at least in the current state of the game. Not to mention, even if we do, we have 308 orange orbs and 24 major oranges. So even if we somehow run out of trait stones, we will never run out. That's enough to last for almost a year, I think. If we literally just use these rather than ever spending traits, which would kind of be a waste. But that's pretty much enough to last that long. But anyways, guys, I'm going to be heading out for now. Thank you all so much for stopping by. And yeah, I hope you all had a wonderful weekend. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll be covering the little video thingy, going over the weekly stuff as normal. Don't forget Life and Death's available on Tuesday. Most of the content coming in next week are all coming in on Monday. We already went over the spoilers earlier, or at least the weekly spoilers. And other than that, we'll have our stream at the same time as always tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is about 2 hours prior to now tomorrow. Well, actually, at this point, it's more like 2.5 hours prior to now tomorrow. You know. Yeah, we'll be back then. We'll be messing with raids. And going over the new troop, though the new troop's actually useless, so never mind, scratch that. There's nothing to viably go over with the new troop. Obviously, we'll go over some raids teams and stuff like that, but the new glory troop is pretty useless coming in on Monday. And we're not getting anything particularly meta at all on Monday. Everything coming in is going to be dead content almost the week after. But we do have the shark pet coming back in on Saturday. And we have no event otherwise for next weekend, so we can kind of chill next weekend for the most part. Not as much to really cover. Almost all of it specifically on Monday. But hopefully we'll get into patch soon. It's probably still a few weeks out, but it's around the soon TM corner. No, I'm not going to go explain the thingy thing on next patch. When we can, but not yet. Soon TM. Anyways, guys, I'll catch you guys soon. Thank you all so much for stopping by. And yeah, have a wonderful week. And I hope you all had a wonderful Father's Day. Goodbye, everyone. And thank you all so much for watching, as always. Greatly appreciated. Goodbye, everyone.